Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. Tachikaze and Grand Blue get new tournament promo cards for V Premium, since Grand Blue apparently doesn't have enough support to carry itself. Heavy Armament Dragon Fusillalder cannot be ridden, and it's called in rest position, when it would be called to rear guard. While on rear guard, it cannot be placed in stand position except for its own ability. And while on rear guard at the beginning of your battle phase, place this unit in stand position if it has 3 or more equip gauges, but it's retired on your end phase. Even with a base power of 27k, this card ain't worth it. The only thing this is good for is if you have an ability that copies the base power of a unit you retired, or you're fighting against an Uber-Tama player in Premium that relies on Dominate. Mick the Ghostie and family when placed on rear guard by a card's ability during your turn lets you send the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop zone to give one of your other units 10k power than this unit an auto ability that makes you retire itself at the end of the battle it attacked or boosted. And while in the drop zone, you can pay 1 counter blast when your Vanguard attacks while you have 10 or more cards in the drop zone to call this card to an open rear guard. Nitros and 7Cs are already the most asinine decks due to their rear guards reaching absurd power levels, yet here's a card that gives them even more power. Devil May Cry's Virgil would be so motivated to play this. Standard wasn't forgotten though, as Bushiroad finally confirmed that Tamura and Thegria will finally be getting new order card support, but unfortunately they revealed the other stuff on the right this week instead. Heavy Bullet of Dust Storm Naufaru while on rear guard lets you bind himself if you have a Eugene Vanguard to place up to 2 normal units, except sentinels from your drop zone into your soul. You may place them on top of your deck instead if your opponent's regard was retired this turn. Why is it that Bushiroad keeps trying to make Eugene a discount Hexorb sorceress? Gravidia Hadril once per turn while on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast when a meteorite order card is placed in your order zone that's not from the drop zone to place a meteorite order card from your drop zone to your order zone, and this unit gets 5k power. Who the hell asked for another Gravidia support? They're already at the top of the tier list considering they can double trigger effects on top of nuking your field. Mischievous Search Azumii while on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast when your Kyrie Vanguard attacks to return this card to your hand, then call a copy of her to an open rear guard, then give your Vanguard 5k power. What the actual shit? Why the hell is Bushiroad giving 2 of the most powerful decks in standard promo cards they barely need? Assuming they plan to hit them in some capacity in tomorrow's PowerPoint presentation, which I doubt. This is just adding fuel to an already burning furnace. Vanguard Dear Days gets more jobbing fodder in the form of some random boys from a random team, and a guy who collects cards whose hair will trigger the Twitter police. 3 Keta Sanctuary cards were revealed for Youthberk in DBT07, since Bastion already got his stuff shown off last 2 weeks ago, but this is the Shadow Paladin variant, meaning they are better. Wayward Therapy Angel cannot be ridden, and cannot be called to rear guard from hand normally. And when she's discarded from hand during your turn, you can pay 1 soul blast if you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard to call her to the back row rear guard. Thegria players can finally stop using Refusis and finally get to call actual boosters with light Thegria's skill. Witch of Accumulation, Sequana while on rear guard during your turn gets 2k power if you have a Youthberk Vanguard. And while on rear guard, you can put her into your soul when a unit is placed on your Vanguard with the RevolForm ability to give your Vanguard 1 drive check. Expect a lot of ruling mishaps with RevolForm Ghost if your opponent doesn't know how to chain block their skills. To put this in a way where even a net decker can understand, you resolve Sequana's skill first before resolving Ghostie's to give him 2 drive checks. Finally, Youthberk RevolForm Tempest when placed on Vanguard by the RevolForm ability gives all your front row units 5k power. Then you can pay 1 counter blast to reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. You return one of your opponent's regard with the same grade as any of those cards to the bottom of their deck and add those cards to your hand. And while on Vanguard at the end of your turn, you write a card with the RevolForm ability from your soul in rest position. This is more of a toolbox card. Ghost is still the better finisher, but this could potentially replace Zest in builds. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments when we'll get a Steam Maiden promo card in V Premium.